Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back on the Adobe Twitch channel. Special 2 days with Rufus and myself, and amazing artist on the stream. We are live from OFFF. OFFF is a conference in Barcelona, in Spain. In case you don't know where Barcelona is, it's one of the biggest festivals about design, creativity, motion design. You have all the creative fields, and we expect thousands of people during this festival, and we're right in the middle of it. It's still in the morning now, so it's quiet because you will see, like, this afternoon we will have like thousands of people all around us. This will be crazy.
Yeah, do you maybe want to go just to show with the camera, like just go around like this a little bit to show over there?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, not you. Okay, this one. You can't turn the camera?
No, that's fine. Maybe not.
Okay. Maybe not. Okay.
All right. And the idea is that we have a special program for you, a special schedule. It's updated, so if you look at the page, the Adobe Twitch channel, you have all the details, and we will welcome a lot of artists who will share their art, their skills, their knowledge, such as Bram, who will be the first. And you will have also portfolio reviews. So this is the first time we're doing this. So we will have speakers from OFFF, like big names such as Timothy Dalton, Paula Scher, big studios such as The Mill, the 6 and 5 studio. They will be there. Digital Kitchen. They will be there with us to review some portfolios with people who attend OFFF, but also some online portfolios, so people who are not with us. So this should be great. Also, good way to learn how to curate your portfolio, how to just PR yourself, market yourself, and get some feedback from the big names, the professionals. Also, we will do some giveaways, including one during Bram's session. So at any time, we will pick someone in the chat, and you can win an exclusive poster of Violaine and Jeremy, who is a studio, and they will be with us live, by the way, tomorrow. And they won the first European Creative Jam. So we will give away some posters. It will be signed by the artist, and we'll ship it by mail it to you as soon as possible. And I see that we have AI Joe with us. Hi, Sia Design. Hi, Cedric. Hi, Tibrak. Hi, Laura. Hi, Elsie Finch. So keep the chat very active. Don't hesitate to just ask questions to our guests. And be careful, Bram. Look at your microphone.
I have no idea what's happening with my
microphone is inside you. So this will be a weird sound. It sounds weird when I say that. The microphone is inside you.
Don't say that.
Sounds weird. Okay, so so make sure you check the schedule. Be very active in the chat, and I will be around. I will just let now Rufus and Bram, because Bram is an amazing artist. He was with us, you remember, Adobe Max, the first Twitch we had on the Adobe channel. He was with us, and now he's back in Barcelona, streaming with us. So that's great. Okay, guys, have fun, and I will be back at some point to give away a poster to someone in the chat. Okay?
Great, perfect. All right.
Hey, and we have Patrick. Hey,
and we have Thibaut Accor, who says, "I love your artwork, Bram."
Ah, cool.
So
we have a fan.
You already have fans on the on the channel, so that's awesome.
Okay, thanks, see you guys.
All right, see you, Michael. Have fun wherever you're going.
Wherever you go.
All right, Bram. Okay. So so why don't we start, like, just present yourself and talk a little bit about what you do, and then we can go maybe into a little bit of detail of how you do these things, because this is what this is all about. This is about sharing, experience, sharing the workflows, sharing the ideas and inspiration. So perfect.
Okay, my name is Bram.
Okay,
I'm 25 years old. I'm from Belgium, from Antwerp, and what I do mainly, I'm an art director for a day, but after my hours, I'm a digital artist, and that's why I'm here probably.
So you can't do both?
Yeah, I do both. So, like, most of my day, I'm working at the bank as an art director, and when I get home, I need to balance it out and play with colors and do my own thing.
This is something that I missed at the bank.
Yeah, I do stuff for the bank. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fun part, the colors.
Talk about the after hours.
Yeah, the after hours fun part. So I think I started with portraits 5 or 6 years ago, and from there on I was like, oh, this is fun. I can do it after my hours. It's not, the project. I can do a portrait in one evening, one sitting. So it's really fun for me to, for instance, there's a new album from an artist. I love it. I want to share it with my friends. I'm like, how do I do it? Instead of typing a tweet, I love this album or whatever, I make a portrait and I can get some interaction. And this is how I interact with my following or with my friends at least. And that's how my friends got to know me. You know, in the beginning, before Facebook and everything, I did the same, but nobody really understood like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I'm doing portraits and illustrations. Like, what is it? Like, give me 1 second. And when Facebook and social media got there and Instagram, everyone's like, oh, you're doing this, and oh shit, it's for magazines, and oh, you make money with it. But that's
and this is, you know, this is when people are surprised, right? Yeah, when you suddenly make that move from it being a hobby to almost to being a profession, right? So awesome stuff. Okay. So
I'm not sure if people see my screen.
Are we seeing Bram's screen on the? Yes.
Is the first one? Apologies.
All right. So basically, yes, this is your Behance portfolio.
Yeah, I will start with my Behance portfolio. Simply, you know, to give the audience an idea what I do and what I mean with colorful portraits. And I will start with, you know, where is it? The legendary Olympics. I'm a big sport fan. I've been into track and field for almost all my life. And this project was the first project. I think I was 18 years old and I was sitting home like, okay, what do I need to do? I want to do something that makes me happy, where I can feel like I can relate with my work. And I started drawing athletes, like legendary athletes, to hang, you know, to print it and hang it in my room. And it was the first time it went so easy for me. It was like, oh, I'm making portraits and it looks good. At least I was like, oh shit, I recognize the people I'm drawing. That was the first time. And I posted it on the Behance and I got so, you know, lovely reactions. I was like, oh, I'm on something. And it was like the first time I had like no pressure. I was like, I know I love it. I don't give a shit what people think because this is me.
But this is the cool thing about Behance is that suddenly you get feedback.
Yeah, you
get
feedback.
From all over the world, really. And you know, most of the time it's it's very positive feedback and feedback that gives you the strength to continue. And like you said, you started as a hobby and and I guess you know the feedback gave you the strength to continue.
And about Behance, you know, definitely when I was beginning, it was so easy to connect with other creatives. And I was like, okay, let's send them a message like, hey, I'm starting out. It's my first time doing illustration. Do you have feedback? What's next? Or how can you help me? And also the same happened, like people, instead of writing a comment, because most comments are like, yeah, good job, love it. Some people send me like really message like, hey, you've been doing like 5 portraits in a row, you should try something else because maybe it gets boring. It's like really honest feedback, but it's really, you know, it's worth a lot for me because I was like, shit, it's true, I'm doing the same, maybe I should add some colors and I need to turn things around. So I have to thank a lot to the Behance network. But yeah, that's one project. So it was like portraits, illustrations, and a little touch of color. And then
somebody just linked to your Behance portfolio. So,
whoops, sorry. Nice. That's me, Bram Vanhaeren, Behance.net.
Did you create your portfolio already?
Yes, actually when you go to bramvanhaeren.com, my portfolio from Adobe, it is based on my portfolio. So this is completely my Behance.
So you use the new header?
The new header, and you find me blog, whatever. And maybe I removed it already, but you could also, you know, you can even link that. You can even appreciate the project on your portfolio. So it's a very, for me at least, I'm not really into web coding stuff, but it's
great stuff.
I always had.
Say no more.
I used to have WordPress, but it got hacked, and there was also some issues. I need to update stuff. Now I know, like, you know, I have to update one place, Behance, and I will link it to my, you know, it's really easy. So yes, can I go back to my Behance? Of course. I should have shown it on my website as well. But I can show you, like, so in the beginning it was more black and white stuff. Then I really, maybe on the wall thing. It's about a year ago. I was like, I need more colors because more and more people are like, hey, it's always the same. Try and do something else. It's loading really slow. But I started doing portraits and then put some sound on it, make some little animations with it, and really give another dimension to it. And people were like, oh, it's cool. And then for me, it's like, oh, so many possibilities for my portraits. Let's work on it. And I can show. Maybe it loads.
Maybe it loads. Yeah.
You see, like, and it's easy to share on Instagram because it loops stuff. It's like 15 seconds with a cool beat. I'm not sure if people hear the beat now, but
great stuff.
So it got interesting, and you can already see my portfolio. You know, more and more colors. I'm constantly, you know, experimenting with how far can I push it. There are also different ways to draw shadows and shadings, and it's always interesting. It looks because I had a talk with a friend earlier this morning, and he said, like, yeah, you're doing the same thing for 5 years. Isn't it boring? And I was like, I'm not doing the same thing. You should, you know, watch the details. You know, the way I draw my eyes, the way I interpret shadows. It's constantly different, and I believe always better and better.
And this is something that you wanted to share today, right? Like how, for example, you draw eyes, for example, or.
So I have this illustration ready that I did like 2 weeks ago, because we're on Twitch. This is the creative director of Uncharted 4, the big game. And for Rolling Stone magazine, they asked me, like, hey, you want to do the portrait for this interview? Wow. And I was like, sure.
And you still work at the bank?
Yep, I still work at the bank. I still work at the bank, so I'm super busy, but I managed to you know, combine it. But it's
awesome. That's great stuff.
Yeah. So this is the final, let's say, what I do in Illustrator, and what I would like to show you today is like.
So Patrick Kuziel just said he's following you now on Behance.
That's awesome.
And Laura Garcia says amazing stuff. Yeah, I have to agree.
Really
myportfolio.com. Yeah.
Oh, I can talk about my school background.
What is your school background? Yeah.
So my school background is very interesting. Like, hey guys. I started going to the art school when I was 17 years old, but immediately back in the day when I was 17, I was super arrogant and I thought I knew everything. So school and me was like, it wasn't.
This is the mistake the best of us make it at the very early stages of, you know, when the creativity.
I was super born, so the teacher, they told me like, how do I say this? Anyway, it didn't work out. It was constantly a battle. It was me versus them, and you know, they were the school, so they kicked me out.
And then you said, well, I'm gonna work for a bank.
No. I took some more steps, so I was like, shit. And then I went to another art school, but you had to do some tests. And then they said, like, yeah, if this is your work, why don't you go work for an agency? Because this is okay.
You don't need to go to school.
And I was like, it's weird because I want to go to school. Why don't you accept me? But a little bit got later, like, you're not accepted in the school. I was like, okay. Then it was already too late to sign up for another school, so I started freelancing. I contacted some magazines, got published, found some work, and then, you know, in how it goes on the internet, it can go really fast. So in that 1 year window, I was doing a lot of things, freelancing stuff. I was 18. And it got really serious. And there were like agencies from New York. I'm from Belgium, so it's like the other side of the world. And they were like, yeah, we have a big project and everything. Why don't you come over and work here in New York? And I was like, oh, shit, it's really serious. I didn't thought about it. Like,
I need to take a holiday at my bank job.
I'm like, no, we're still not at the bank. So I said, like, fuck this. I'm not ready for this big step. So I'm going back to school. So it took me 2 years to go back to school. Finish that school like a really kind boy. Like, I listened to the teachers. I did everything they said. Got my degree, and then I started a job. So I did 2 schools, for those who are wondering. So it's okay that you make some trouble and you don't find your way, but in the end you will find your way. That's how life goes, I think, you know. It's not always straight.
All right, let's go into how you make stuff, because people are already saying the hair is gorgeous on that piece and things like that.
Absolutely.
So I think this is
it's
going to be very, very interesting to see your process here.
Okay, perfect. So this is the final. So how let me show you the layers to get an idea. So I always start with the photograph. So this is the photograph. I don't know if you guys see the full screen or not, but this is the photograph I received to work with. It's a really detailed photograph, so that's always nice. And I always start with the blackboard. And as you can see, my layers, I will go from black to a darker gray. Wait, maybe you can see it better like this. So another gray, a lighter gray, and I build it up from there. And that's actually how I work. So in the end, that's the result. But I will let me show you. Okay. But I will show you how I start every work. So every work, like no joke. Take the pencil tool, like super easy. I zoom a little bit in. Oh wait, I will change the line so you can actually see it. Green, here, and you know, I have my way to how I interpret it, how I draw.
You're already
eyes.
interpreting the image.
Yeah. So, and this is, you know, this is hard to explain to people because, you know, let's see. Most people will start like, okay, the most dark part, and maybe go too realistic like this. I don't know, and then like, oh, this is dark, and then you get stuck sometimes. Or when you zoom out, it's like, is this an eye? Shit, I fucked up. So it takes some time. But after a while, you know,
basically you're drawing from experience as well. Like you take the image as a base, but
correct.
But then you already have your techniques and ways.
Exactly. I know, like I want to make it round. In the picture, you don't see stuff like this, but when you zoom out, you already, you know, see like, okay, there's something going on there. And then lately, I've been doing these kind of shapes to draw the hair actually. And it's not crazy, it's not super hard, you know, anyone can do this, but it's from experience, because I will show you here what I did, for instance.
And that's with a pencil tool?
It's just a pencil tool, right, yeah.
And I see you do that with your mouse, but do you always use your mouse? Or do
always use a mouse.
Okay.
Since I work at the bank, I don't have too much time to really get in the wacom thing, because it takes some time to adjust. And today, it's so easy for me to draw with my magic mouse. Okay. So, I don't
that's what I said. It's always, you know, many people, I need a wacom, I need this, but no, you need the tool that works best for you. You know, and
because I've seen people working with a wacom, like doing magical stuff. It's true, and I wonder, like, would it speed up my work even more if I could do that? But I'm not sure. I'm very comfortable right now, and I was showing it. So, for instance, 1 year ago, when I was doing the same, when I was drawing an eye, I went for stuff like this, like more bubbly stuff,
more organic, rounded.
And I got this, and when the client wants this style, it's okay for me. But I can switch and I can combine stuff, and along the way you find ways to, you know, draw eyes. You know, sometimes you go Sharpie, then you go like bubbly like this, and you build up your own style in it. So it's very interesting. So, you know, just draw every evening, and you will find, oh shit, new ways. This is awesome.
Yeah, for those of you who have just joined us, we're live from OFFF, the design conference in Barcelona. And over the next 2 days, we just started half an hour ago to stream. We're going to be streaming 8 hours every day, and we're going to have excellent guests from the speakers who come to OFFF, and also we will have portfolio reviews together with the speakers, and people have submitted their portfolios, and there's going to be a whole bunch of activities all day long from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central European time. So the schedule is on the page below the thing. So those of you who joined on Facebook or you know, like watch the stream on things that are different from Twitch. If you go to Twitch, you can engage in the chat, you can ask Bram questions, you can ask me questions, any guest that will come during the day. So, and on the Twitch page, we also have the full schedule below. So Patrick says it looks simple, but it surely does take time. How long does it take to draw a picture like this?
With some good music.
Okay.
And
so define good music.
Oh, for me,
super fast tempo techno.
I'm into a little housing and trance music lately, but it switched up for me. It's like what the Discover Weekly on Spotify. That's my music. I don't know what it is, but every week it's different, and every time I find, oh, this is interesting, and I go to the radio from that song. There you go. So, but it takes me. For instance, this whole portrait took me probably 3 to 4 hours because it was really detailed with the beard and the hair. So it depends on the quality, in the details. Yeah. But most work at least 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, so in one sitting at an evening. So,
okay.
Maybe I can just. So another thing is what I always do with every illustration is I draw the eyes very quickly, just in black and white. I will draw the nose. I will do it quickly like this, whatever. and immediately I check
Yeah.
the situation just with the eyes and the nose and maybe a little bit of the mouth, because most of the time the eyes are like the basis of which emotion there is in this portrait. Is this person angry? And you can always check like, okay, am I on something or do I start over? Because if you don't check this and you're like 2 hours further and you're like, shit, my eyes, and it's
So I just
something
noticed,
off
I
with
just
it.
noticed the way you drew the nose, I mean the nostrils. This is very painterly. I mean, did you study like live drawing or
No. Yeah, I did, but they kicked
this
me
is,
out.
because this is exactly the type of thing, people who first like start drawing noses, they will probably draw like everything around and the whole shape, but the nose is really just a little bit of shadow and the two little dots. You didn't even make them as big as they are in here, just a little bit, and
you can already feel like there is a
feel the
nose.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because we learned that at school, but I still have the paper from this teacher, and he said like, you suck, you will never draw. Like you have to find another, find another industry. And I saved that letter because I was like, I'm gonna show him that. And it's super funny because now I make my money off making fucking portraits.
You should frame it.
I framed it.
You framed it.
I framed it really to remember like back in days. I started somewhere.
About framing, we're also going to be giving away a poster by Jérémy and Violaine and Jérémy, who are the winners of the first European Creative Jam that we had a couple of weeks ago. And Violaine and Jérémy will be here. They will be signing their artwork, and we will be shipping those to whoever is the winner. And we're going to be doing that in a little while, but nice. During this session, okay? In the next 30 minutes. All right, sorry.
No problem. So let's go on to Photoshop. We know the story. You draw the portrait in Illustrator, and then I have this ready. So
this is all Illustrator.
Yeah, this is I just drag and drop my illustration into the Photoshop file, and then right now, because I'm doing this for so long, I have my own.
You use the libraries, I see. You put it in a library.
Yep. But when I touch it, there's gonna be stuff from the bank as well, because I did it this morning really quickly, so it's probably in the wrong library.
Let's not open the library. Okay. No,
because I saved my colors and everything.
I see the little cloud icons and things. So.
That's why they made this, I think.
All right.
I love the library, absolutely. Definitely when you do web design and mobile design, it's very handy. And I can't wait to see Experience Design XD come out, the fully version. Right now we have drag and drop the illustration in my Photoshop file, and now it's like, the final 5% of my work basically, because most of the time I have everything set up, and I will show you right now what it is. The first thing I will do is, because I draw with all those funky shapes, I can easily select it with the select tool, like this or whatever.
Okay.
And I simply, really, people gonna say like, that's it? Yes, that's it. I will show it like this. I will use the gradient tool, and that's it. And that's that's the magic I do. So I draw it, then I add my gradients. I'll remove it there. I use gradients. I have some other fancy effects ready already. So those are probably some brushes, played around with the wrap tool, and then added some screen or lighten. Play with that with the color settings. Then I have some brushes ready, and then poof. A final color. What is the difference? 7%. Just playing around with the colors, and you have a cool result, I think.
I'm sure that's a question that will come up if nobody asked it yet. Is what resolution do you work? I mean, I know Illustrator is resolution independent, so basically it doesn't matter how big or small you make it. But as soon as you go into Photoshop, the game changes, right? So because this is where you have to decide the resolution and the pixel dimension.
Yeah, most of the time I work on European size A3.
A3. 300 dpi.
Always 300 dpi. But as you say, because like 90% of my work is illustration, so I can scale it up and do whatever. Because I do have almost all of my effects. I save them in Illustrator as well. So I have a file ready, because I had some clients for billboards, like huge files, and then I can just say, it's possible to go in Illustrator, and I can deliver like an Illustrator file. So
So is there anything you do in Photoshop that you can't do in Illustrator?
I think the color effects like the warp tool, and for me it's more fun to play with the gradient tool. I don't know, it's in my workflow like that. But probably you can do. I think you can do everything in Illustrator as well. Just like this is how I grow into my workflow. I always mix and match, and right now I always mix the both programs. And right now it's most of the time Illustrator and only a little bit of Photoshop. I could do everything, but it's just me, I guess.
Cool.
It's very individual.
Did you ever try the iPad Pro? I'm sure this will have, save some time, and the pencil tool will be much precise.
Yeah, I have it ready to play with it. I still have to experience it and experiment with it. And again, it's like for me a new progress to learn. Like how do I draw those shapes? Because it's in my head, it's in a Magic Mouse hand right now. I'm not sure if I can do the same.
And I see Finch points out rightly that
Correct.
lens flare is,
Exactly.
works better in because I see some lens flares.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is also RGB, so it's not CMYK. So you have to make clear to the clients, okay, if you're gonna print it, we will lose some fancy coloring effects. It's really important. And sometimes it's like, shit, I didn't thought about that. But I definitely think that working in RGB is the way to go, always. And even when you create layouts in InDesign and things like that, RGB all the way. And then at the last minute, in the raster image proper, when you transform it into plates or whatever, that's when the transformation has to be made. And it's just a matter of educating the client that there's simply colors that you can see on a screen that can't be replicated in print, but and plus a file that's in RGB also weighs a quarter less than a CMYK file, because if you think RGB is like, if you like 100 mega, 100 mega, 100 mega, if it's CMYK it's 400 mega. So you also save space in your computer. Very
Mind blown.
Write it down, everyone at home. RGB. And he must be Dutch, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Of course, working in RGB gives you every filter. Yeah. Also, that it gives you all the filter possibilities. But but the thing is that working in RGB gives you a much larger color spectrum to work with. So for example, I don't know. Do you have? I think it's. Do you have color sync?
Color sync.
Like in the little.
I don't think so.
No, in the.
You want to take over?
Yeah, just start typing color sync. Color sync utility.
Open it.
Yeah. That doesn't work. Okay, try to go to profiles. Okay, go. Okay, let me show you the profile. Okay, so this is an RGB. Okay, this is RGB colors. And we can keep those, and this is CMYK is this. Okay, so basically you see immediately how there is more color in RGB. Okay, and you can also say, let's hold this for comparison, and go to
CMYK. Generic CMYK.
To CMYK. Hola. Oh, thank you. Oh, muchas gracias.
¿Quieres un café?
I don't drink coffee.
No, drink coffee.
But thank you.
Okay, so basically here you see the CMYK inside of the RGB, okay? And this is all the color you're missing, right? And this is why it's very important to work as long as you can in RGB, and then at the very last minute compress it to whatever medium you're using.
Absolutely.
Sorry for the computer hijack, but
leave me alone with all the color settings. No. Interesting.
Yeah, that was a nice waiter. Yes, he had a black shirt just like me. I see him walking over, like the waiter. Thank you, waiter.
Drink coffee. Walks away.
He doesn't. All right, let's go back to your work.
So I want to show, because this is like a very, how do you say it, normal portrait, like no action. I have something else from Leonardo. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay.
You know why? I tell you why. Because I was on a United flight when First of all, I shouldn't be watching it on a little screen.
Also
But
true.
it said, edited for content. And I said, no. I want to see the whole thing.
Oh, of
No,
course,
so,
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, there are some scenes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
But with this, this is not really a portrait. There is motion, there is action, there's like. So you can also see.
Oh, and there's the bubbly effect.
There's the bubbly
mix.
effect.
Okay.
So for the hair, I always go to the straight and the pointy stuff, but for the face, I go for the bubbly thing, or at least in this period of time, I did that. But I also, as you can see, while I was drawing this, I knew I was going to apply much more colors. So you can already see, like, what this is really abstract. Like, what is this? But when I add some coloring, you can already see, like, okay, that's where you go with it. And again, it's very simple. It's the gradient tool, and play with colors, see what works. If it doesn't work, do it again. That's Photoshop, Command Z.
And that's the thing, right? It could almost be called fan art, right?
Is it fan art? What?
No? Like,
define fan art.
fan art is like, okay, you enjoyed the movie.
Okay, in that way. Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like
fan art. Yeah.
And I see a lot of people who are, who create fan art and who then get opportunities to do real work with it, because suddenly, suddenly Leonardo DiCaprio will see, or somebody from his staff will see the illustration, and and one thing leads to another, and
Of course, it's a big thing. I play it out as like that on my Instagram and everything as well, of course, to show like, hey, and indeed it happens that all these people do see it. In this story, I made it for Deadline Hollywood, so for an event where Leonardo was actually.
Yeah.
So those people are there, and from this project, many other projects came out of it, because oh, this works. Oh, with coloring too. Oh, we didn't start. Can you do this for this person? Can you do it for this person? So it's interesting, and that's what I really love, because for me, knowing that only I have my evening to work on this and the weekends, I can go for like big projects of 3-4 months as a freelancer. I can do that. So with this, it's really easy. Like, okay, one portrait, no problem. Let's do this. So again, very simple, just by playing around, showing that.
There's Becky who's asking, how long did it take you to develop your style?
Okay, I think I'm still working on my style.
Yeah.
It's changing every day. But I've been doing this for 6 years, almost every day, to come to this effect. Because I understand it looks maybe really simple, but it takes some time to come up.
No. Okay.
But yeah, so it takes time. Yeah. And then you want to do this, because I also made a decision, like I'm doing portraits only, and I'm going to focus on this until I figured it out. So it's you have to decide if you're going for it, because if you're going to mix stuff and one week you're doing web design stuff and the other week you're doing something completely different, and then you're going to illustrations, you have to understand it. You limit your time to develop your own style.
Yeah, like a good friend of mine just draws cars, so like makes paintings of classic cars, like
That's awesome,
old Ferraris and things. And that's what he does. That's all he does.
And he will probably developing
successful at
his
it,
style. Oh, I can draw like this. So at least, you have to find it interesting, of course, because I know many people that find it super boring doing this every week, and I get it somewhere, but and I wish I could do other stuff, but this is me, and this makes me happy, and you have to be a little bit self-aware and know what you're good at and what you're not good at. So I will just show some more colors, like super easy stuff. Again, playing around, and I was doing portraits all the time, and I was wondering, okay, can I apply this style on other stuff? And then I came up, like, I love sneakers, and I was like, hey, let's do these shape things.
To sneakers. Okay.
So it's like the same thing, like, okay, all those sneakers have shapes, shadows. Let's do my own thing with it. How would I do it? And just play again with a lot of colors. And I will show you. I can easily go to a darker version of this, where I work with more lightnings. But I will show you where it starts with. This is how I start.
All right.
And it looks nothing like it, but for me it's more like, okay, here I need a very flashy color, and I work with 4 colors, because in my mind I only work with like the orange tints, the orange, purple, blue, and some green. So I know in my mind, like, okay, let's limit myself with only those colors, build it up, and I know in Photoshop I can, this, for instance, everything that's green will be a touch of orange, but it can variate, so it doesn't need to be flat.
So do you develop your palette, like your color palette in your mind, or do you create a whole bunch of colors that you can quickly apply in
colors
in a swatch panel or something?
For me, it's really easy to come up. I feel immediately when something is working or not. So for me, it's always been really easy to find new color combinations and when it's not working or whatever. So for me, it was like very simple. Like, okay, I was building it up, and while you're building it up, you're like, I need some more brightness, or I need another, or maybe add a dark tint. But right now, since I'm playing with the gradient tool,
within the raster effects too.
Yeah, I will
like
zoom in. Yeah, and that's with an easy pattern that you can create with some dots, really basic. But while you build it up, it's as an artist, it's like in Photoshop today, it's so easy to play around with and go back and like, okay, I used too much the dark blue, I need some orange here. So because I do go traditional sometimes at home and I paint. And I struggle with that because it needs to be correct from the first time. Or I see my girlfriend painting as well, and she's struggling with it as well because, okay, the gradient or whatever the colors I'm going to use, it must work immediately, and you have to think about it. So I'm trying to go traditional as well, behind the scene, and apply some of my techniques. But it's really interesting to do that. So yeah, I showed how easy it can be. Just have fun, experiment.
And you always start from a photograph?
Yeah, I made it very clear to some clients because some clients they don't know, and they're like, yeah, we need a football player, whatever, doing a backflip and whatever. And I was like, okay, can you give me some photographs? Like, oh no, I thought you were an illustrator and you could do that. So nope. I need some photographs, please.
No, you are an illustrator, but you don't do that type. Hola.
Want to give away?
In 5 minutes. Giveaway.
Awesome.
5 minutes giveaway. All right, so let's hype that in the chat already.
Not now.
No. But we have 5 minutes. We're gonna have a giveaway. The poster of Violaine and Jérémy, the winners of the first Creative Jam, the first European Creative Jam that happened in Bilbao a few weeks ago. So they're gonna be here. They're gonna be signing this poster, and we're gonna be shipping it to whoever is winning it. And we're gonna give out quite a few during these 2 days that we're streaming live from OFF in Barcelona. OFF is a huge design conference. There's going to be thousands of people around here. Actually, people are slowly starting to come in.
Yeah, so
the place is filling up. You will see during the day there will be a lot more people coming in. Let's go back to you, Bram, because we have.
Yeah, I would love to ask some questions to the crowd.
Yeah, okay, we have 20 minutes left with you.
Yeah, let's talk with the people, and I can show. So
yeah, Kuro.
If you have any questions,
Corona
also business-wise,
says,
if you're starting out as an artist and you're like struggling with finding clients, how you deal with that, I can talk about that. I can help with that.
Okay, so Odon Garcia says, what do you want to express with that colorful style?
What do you want to express? For me, it's all about sharing the same energy about something, and for me, colors are really handy. By for me, for instance, this sneaker can be like a picture and can be like this is a sneaker. But for me, it's like a lot more. There's like an energy going on there, and for me, colors is like the best way to add energy to something. And definitely when you use the right colors, you can really set the mood with those colors. So for me, it's all about energy and the happiness stuff, and that's why I use those bright colors. Obviously.
Oh, the color palette is so fun and bright, right, Laura? It gives a lot of character to your work. That's right. And Bram said, you said you work in a bank, but are you working as an illustrator for a bank or really like a banker?
I'm a real banker. No. I started as a web designer, working on some mobile applications, designing mobile applications like tablet applications, and right now I'm the art director. So I'm following up the designers, thinking about how can we improve the user experience, follow up on, and also guard the branding of the bank is really important. It's a big challenge because we are working omni-channel, so we're on mobile, we're on so many platforms, and it's my job to make sure that the experience is all the same.
Yeah.
So we use the same fonts, we use the same colors and all that stuff. So I'm an art director there. I'm not really a banker. So don't ask me anything about finance.
Okay, so that dude Keith says, do you use a Wacom tablet for your illustrations, or are you just happy to use the mouse? You answered that question already, but let's answer it again because I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tried it once and I just felt like, whoa, I need some time to develop this. And for me right now, since I'm doing this for more than 10 years with a mouse, for me this is my Wacom, and it works so well. And for me, I only have to bring this little mouse to work or to this place. I just bring my mouse. I don't need a big tablet because with a Wacom you can have like this big Wacom thing. So for me, it's also very mobile, and I can work. Right now, I don't have time to really work on my my skills with a Wacom. So, but one day maybe.
Yeah. So Kurono Kame says, colors make people happy. Absolutely. The white splash. What is that?
What's that? Yeah, it can be, for me that's just the energy, an abstract way to, because normally it's like a still, now it maybe looks like the sneaker is flying around, it's a very abstract thing. Maybe I can pop up, like, I did this other project with double portraits. And in this place, you can see like there is more energy around it, and with the white splashes, it just adds more, movement and on a very subtle base. It's not really in the face white, but it's there. So
we have Michael with us right now.
Yes.
Hola.
Giveaway time.
With the giveaway computer.
Okay. So the giveaway computer. Yes. The idea is to get a chance to enter. You have to say something in the chat now. It can be, you can say hype. You can say Bram, I love you.
You can say
any kind of thing. So we give you 2 minutes to say something in the chat. It will feed the algorithm. It will feed the magic script, and then it will randomly pick someone. So if you want the poster, we can.
Yeah. Show it.
We don't give away the computer.
No.
We give away.
You have to be on stream for a certain amount of time, right?
A poster and
No.
We give away the poster. If you follow the Adobe Tweet channel, if it's not the case already, press the follow button, it will give you more chances. And we give away this poster by Villain and Jeremy. They won the Creative Jam with this project. They will be on stream with us tomorrow. And we only print six posters, and it will be signed by the artist tomorrow, and we will ship it, not the animal. Like, we'll mail it to you tomorrow.
Can I enter?
And you cannot enter, Bram.
Okay, Sky Design says he prefers the waiter with the coffee.
What? Oh, yeah. It's the same man.
Same man with a French accent. Somebody like said,
no,
love your accent.
Oh, the accent, yeah.
Yes.
You will get my accent
This
all
is
day.
something you cannot fake.
No, but I can talk like this also. Huh? So if you want me to have a strong accent, I can do. Huh?
That's
all
awesome.
right. We have some nice activity
it's a
here.
poster. Okay, thank you. Roll it, and the winner is.
Let's roll it.
Roll it.
That's
rolling.
someone. It's rolling. Okay, the winner is Dag Zinger.
Dag Zinger.
That's how to pronounce it,
Dag
right?
Zinger, yeah. Dag Zinger.
Dag Zinger.
Following since
And
10
Dag
days
Zinger-
ago.
Yeah, it's following
Me, yes,
Me,
you.
yes, you.
Yes, you. That's you, Dag Zinger.
Dag Zinger.
So Dag
Yeah.
Zinger, I will
Awesome.
send you a message. Congratulations. I will send you a message now on Twitch, so I can get your address to mail the poster.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Enjoy the poster.
Dag Zinger. Okay.
And I will be back with giveaways today. Okay, so stay with us in the chat. There will be more giveaways.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome.
Can I drop the mic?
Let the,
Like Barack Obama. That was awesome.
all right. Go back to you, Bram.
How much time is there left?
We have another 15 minutes, more or less.
Okay.
Maybe what I think what people like would really enjoy is like seeing your technique again. Like just seeing you.
I will
you
just draw.
it. Yeah,
Ask questions and I will draw the eyes.
Just continue drawing this portrait, and basically what we started there is just working on top of this photograph, and And Bram already like did some shapes, and as you can see, he's very confident with the mouse. There's been quite a few questions in the chat about are you using a wacom? Are you using this? No, using a mouse. And yeah. And the other interesting thing is that it takes you about 3 to 4 hours to complete a project like that, depending on the music you listen to.
Correct. There's no music right now, so I'm going really slow.
Oh, and now they want to roll for Bram's poster, but you don't have any posters here.
We can roll for it. I can send a poster.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you want to do that, I will send some posters.
Bram will send a poster.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so
If
let's
that's
roll
possible,
it for
I will roll
the
it.
Bram poster. Oh.
Okay, I'm back
All right,
with
awesome. All right,
with
so
the
we have-
computer. Okay, Bram.
Let's roll.
Bram, you will have to ship it. It will be your
I will ship it, no problem.
responsibility.
It's my responsibility.
It
They have to
wasn't
send me-
planned. It was
Awesome.
not planned. So really, you can say thank you to Bram because
Yeah,
he will.
I will do this.
sell a
Absolutely.
and you will sign it. Okay.
I will sign it with
Okay, great.
I have some.
Okay, say something in the chat. We give you 1 minute.
Yeah,
Yes.
1 minute.
Hashtag Bram Vanhaeren rocks or something like that.
Yeah,
Hashtag.
Bram for king.
yeah. Bram rocks.
Colorful
We want
vectors.
Bram's poster.
And
And then
with Bram.
the winner can
Oh,
pick a poster.
Elsie Finch wants to win the Taylor Swift poster.
No, Elsie,
Oh.
please.
No, the winner can
We know
decide
what you
which
have.
print. For me, I have everything ready. So
Yeah.
Taylor
Okay.
Swift. Awesome.
We have enough in the chat. So say something in the chat if you want to participate. Bram 4K, yeah,
Holy shit.
it's coming. And
It's amazing.
I will ask Nightboat to find someone.
Let's
Ready?
roll
Okay,
the
let's roll
dice.
it. Oh, it must be French. And someone who's very smart because he's following us since today.
Yes.
Since today.
Since
Since
today.
today, which is very smart.
Oh, that's right.
And-
Yes.
He sent a
And
message.
the name is Dans ton filet. Very
Dans
easy
ton
to-
filet.
Dans ton filet. Very easy to pronounce
Yes.
for
Okay,
me.
and that's not gonna be far to ship, I think.
Oh, it's all good for me.
I'm pretty sure he's in French.
Sounds French.
And he might live in. It looks like a stadium, but like a big one, so I'm not sure.
Nice.
I would
okay.
say Lens, but
Lance. Okay.
where do you live, Dans ton filet? Maybe you can
Yeah.
tell us.
Dans ton
Maybe
filet.
in Belgium.
Où habites-tu?
Maybe.
If he's from
Maybe you
Belgium,
can bring
I
the
can bring
poster.
it.
Oh yeah, maybe in.
I can. I'm French. Okay,
I'm French. Okay.
Ah, French. Okay, where do you live?
Belgium. Is it Belgium?
So Dans
That
ton
would be
filet.
great.
I will.
Paris.
Paris. Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
I will bring
okay,
it to you.
easy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can bring it back.
All right.
Okay,
so
Can I
Yeah.
ask his email address so we can?
No, I will.
yeah,
I will
yeah.
ask him.
Awesome,
And I will send
perfect.
you his details.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
we'll,
guys.
we'll run with.
So-
you have 10 minutes left.
So thank
10
you,
minutes.
Bram,
I'll let you
for
walk.
this impromptu giveaway of
Yeah,
a poster
no
of
problem.
yours.
It's awesome.
We will put you in contact with Dans ton filet.
Don't feel it.
All right.
Nice
You
name.
know, some of these nicknames is like, wow. First, sometimes they're really hard to read, and then suddenly you read it, and then you realize what you just said.
Yep. Don't feel it.
So, yeah. Okay. So why don't we just continue?
Yeah, we'll
drawing a little
continue to
bit
draw
and,
the eyes. If there are any
I think
questions.
it's really
so-
fascinating. Like just the quick movements you do. With one of the first tools in Photoshop, right? An Illustrator. No, Illustrator maybe not. The pencil tool came into Illustrator later, I think. But the pencil tool. Do you use any of the? Can you double click on your pencil tool a second?
So
Do you
I
use
just
any-
did a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
accurate-
Just a little bit of smoothness. Okay.
I do play with it sometimes
Yeah,
for
yeah.
when I go for the bubbly things. I adjust it a little bit.
Okay.
So it doesn't look that sharp and it makes it bubbly itself.
Yeah, because until I think CS6, we didn't touch the pencil tool, and nobody was using the pencil tool because the
Wow,
pencil
yeah.
tool was just, impossible to use and didn't yield any good results at all. And then once we applied these things that you can, the options to the pencil tool, it made it much easier to use. And you can already see the work that Bram is doing with it. And the shapes auto close, right? No, they don't close. You leave them open.
Yeah, but I do command click to close it and make another
okay.
one. Yeah. So I do all. Is it the fact maybe other techniques? Because right now, let's say I draw this, this is like the fastest way, right? Command click next to it, or the other ways to make it even faster. Because if you let it and you have to go over it, sometimes it. Oh, okay. Sometimes it collapses. Or
sometimes it changes the shape that's under it, right?
Yeah. So.
So Dan Lowe says, do you or would you stream on Twitch? Like while you do your drawings?
Why? Well, most of the time, right now I'm very privileged to be only working for clients, and when I would do that, I can't share it. So that's the problem at the moment. Because I thought about it, but right now, my time. So that's the problem.
Client work, of course, is it's not something that you can stream about. So
I could do that.
But maybe once a month, or like the Bram stream.
I should contact Adobe and see if they can help me with it.
You can come on the Adobe channel for
that would be nice.
A couple of hours a month, just.
And what do you need to? Let's say if I want to do this, what do I need at home? Also for the viewers, if they want to stream, is it possible to do it from home? Do you need some fancy programs?
I do it from home.
And it's just with your MacBook?
Yeah, we have a program called OBS, and sometimes we use something that's called Wirecast, and it's super easy.
Interesting.
We can think about it. Thank you for the idea there, Dan Lowe. Dan Lowe, I guess, or Dan L0.
Giving away shit every evening on Twitch. Building a big brand. It's interesting.
Right? That dude Keith, and literally never seen the pencil tool used before. That's right. This is a very, very peculiar and interesting way of working. And Omadon says, "You're too good for Twitch." That's not true.
I'm never too good for Twitch.
Yeah.
I have some friends actually doing
Question
Twitch.
Answer says Photoshop Masterclass using Illustrator. Well, his technique is actually always starting in Illustrator, and then when maybe for the last 5 minutes, maybe we can move back to Photoshop with maybe with this image or another one that you have.
Yeah, I was around the eye, and you can already see okay, interesting.
And what Bram does in Photoshop is add gradients, add some lightening effects.
Exactly. So here's the finished eye. Let's say I love what I did there. So really detailed. Okay. So what I do in Photoshop is actually I first select with the the quick selection tool. The magic wand tool. Because I draw with all those different shapes, I can easily I can easily select the shape. I take my gradients and I just pull it around, like okay, what's working, what's not working, and I build it up from there. As you can see with the different little gradient shapes. After that, I will add some magical. Let's see, can I take one?
This is direction lights, right? Something, what is it called? Or is it just a brush?
How do I make it? I build it up with brushes and then warped it to create like this, how do you say, like this energetic bolt of lightning. And then I apply screen, and then it works really well on darker parts of the portrait to add energy. And then I add some more colors, and just I will share it like soft light, 30% soft light blue over a difference with 7%. You get.
So there's always this question, and Desmo Jesse asks, like, is it more common nowadays to use Photoshop instead of Illustrator, or Illustrator instead of Photoshop? And basically, the answer is always the same. It's the best. It's the tool that that feels good, like that you feel comfortable with doing something.
Exactly.
Like we spoke with Bram earlier about, are there things that you're doing in Photoshop that you can maybe do in Illustrator? And yes, they are, but it just feels more comfortable doing them in Photoshop. Exactly. That's the whole point. And the ability to move from one to the other is just
exactly.
Great.
So yeah, there are probably people that started in Illustrator for years and then moved to Photoshop, and they have this workflow.
Yeah.
And I did the way around. I started in Photoshop, then Illustrator. So it's what fits best for you.
Do you want to maybe for the last few minutes just go back to your Behance portfolio and
Absolutely.
and maybe we
With
can link
pleasure.
LC Finch, if you can link to Bram's portfolio again,
Yeah, okay. Where's
so
the
that
link?
people can see some of his artwork, and we've had some insight today as to his workflow, as to his techniques. And very surprisingly, Bram uses the pencil tool.
The pencil tool.
And
Just came out
uses
of
a
it.
mouse to do that. So, but with really, really great results. Thank you, LC Finch. That's the link
Yep,
to
that's
your.
me.
To your
Thanks, Patrick. And thanks everyone, by the way. The comments are amazing.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
yeah, do you
I
want to
will, let's see. Oh, another cool project. Something I didn't show yet is like how I mixed letters in typography, because way back I really loved working with typography and lettered stuff. And for me it was like, okay, I'm doing always portraits. How can I make lettering sexy again? So I took sexy ladies, made a portrait, again very abstract, and mixed it with letters, and I created a complete alphabet with it.
Complete alphabet?
Yeah, complete alphabet. So yeah, that's what I do. Again, like a challenge every day. I made few letters, and the funny part is, let's find. Okay, it's loading. But the cool thing is, I did this just for fun and everything. I got contacted by a French guy, and how did it called? Font Self?
Yes.
You know Font Self?
Yeah,
They're
of
working
course.
with Illustrator.
I did my first font just last week.
Well, he contacted me and was like, Bram, do you know how to make a font? And I was like, no, I don't know. And he was like, I have a script, and we talked over the phone and everything.
I know they're working on a way so that you can create a font with colored items as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is a great case to experiment with this script. So we worked together, and now I think it was funded on Kickstarter and everything. So it's doing really well. And for me, and I think for many people, it's like, oh shit, now we can make our fonts in like 2 seconds. It was
absolutely.
It blew my
Font
mind.
Self.
Yeah, Font Self.
Font Self. Yeah,
Look it up,
maybe
Font
LC Finch has the Font Self link. Hey Bram, I mean, what can I say? Great work, great also way of working, and great story you told us about, how you got kicked out of art school and
well, I have a whole talk about that if you're interested one day.
And never gave up. And this is this is one thing that I hear so much from from younger students as well, is that they're always very often you get pushed to the point where teachers or people tell you to give up. But if this is what you want to do, never give up. And Bram is a great example.
I'm an example of that.
All right.
I think so. I try to be a good example.
All right. So thank you, Bram.
Thank you so much.
And I think next is, let me just check. What do we have next? Okay, we have a portfolio review with, let me just, okay, Bienal Comunicación.
Bye.
There we go. All right. Thank you, man.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Great job.
Bye.